This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, how there, hola, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond, welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And I know this birthday boy is deceased nowadays, and I usually do one that's living, but I can't believe I forgot to do this guy for November 21st and my 3 other go-arounds on this day. Well, this man is an icon for the St. Louis Cardinals and National League hitting as a whole. He spent all 22 seasons in Major League Baseball with one team, that being the Cardinals, and was the first ballot inductee to the Hall of Fame in 1969. And he did quite well hitting and all that. A lot of productivity by this man, and he set a lot of National League records that were, of course, smashed. But hey, he was still a 7-time batting champion, a 3-time MVP, and a 3-time World Series champion. Regardless of that, he actually was named one of the recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, although that was in 2011. Yeah, in 2011. His name is Stan the Man Musial, who was born November 21st, 1920 in Donora, Pennsylvania, as the fifth of 6 children to a couple of Polish immigrants. Anyway, young Stan loved baseball and all of that. When he was in school, he was known as Stanley Frank Musial and not Stanislav Frederick Musial. Anyway, he joined a semi-pro team at age 15 and did pretty well. He played high school baseball with the father of Ken Griffey Sr. Well, practically Ken Griffey Jr.'s grandfather, Buddy Griffey. He was actually offered an athletic scholarship in basketball to the University of Pitt. However, the Cardinals scouted Musial and offered him a professional contract. Anyway, Musial would finish his amateur status pitching for the high school team, and then in 1938 he would go to Class D. Regardless of that, he had adjustment in minor leagues, especially homesickness. So he did what he could. All that. He was a decent pitcher and all that. He actually married fellow Donora resident Lily Lovebash and have their first child. Anyway, Musial actually considered leaving baseball entirely because of injury, and then he said that he could not support himself and his wife on a $16 a week pay. Anyway, Dickie Kerr, who is the manager of the Class D team, Daytona Beach, talked about it out of it. So he started becoming a hitter more than a pitcher when he got that injury in 1940. He made his major league debut with the Cardinals during the second game of a doubleheader at Sportsman Park in St. Louis against the Brooklyn Dodgers. He did okay, 20 hits in 12 games, but they failed to beat the Dodgers for the division. Musial began in 1942 as a left fielder and all that. He was doing pretty well for himself and helped the Cardinals win the National League pennant. He had 315 batting average and 72 RBIs. Anyway, they went to the 1942 World Series against the Yankees. Unfortunately, Musial grounded out with the bases loaded to end the game, in which they lose their chance to take a 1-0 series lead. Unfortunately, though, the Yankees would take care of St. Louis in 5 games. Musial would bat .222 in the series. In 1943, he made the All-Star team as a left fielder and would actually lead not just the National League but the major leagues with a .357 batting average and led the NL in hits, doubles, triples, stolen bases, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage, giving him the MVP over his own teammate catcher Walker Cooper. So the Cardinals faced the Yankees in the 1943 World Series and only won 5 games. I only won 1 game out of 5. Musial figured he was going to go into the armed forces for World War II. But he remained with the Cardinals for the entire season, posting a .347 batting average with 197 hits. The Cardinals won the NL pennant and would face their crosstown rivals, the St. Louis Browns. Of course, this was, the Baltimore Orioles 10 years before they moved to Baltimore. Browns were up 2-1. However, Musial broke out in Game 4 with a 2-run home run, a single, double, and a walk. Cardinals won and then kept the momentum going as they won in 6 games. Musial enlisted into the U.S. Navy January 1945, assigned to non-combat duty at the Naval Training Center in Bainbridge. He was assigned to Hawaii, assigned to a ferry launch to bring back damaged ship crews entering Pearl Harbor. Anyway, he was a seaman second class. All of that. But he rejoined the Cardinals for the 1946 season after missing 1 season. So, anyway, Musial was offered a 5-year, $125,000 deal to join the Mexican League. Unfortunately for the Mexican League, he signed with St. Louis. Anyway, he was given a raise later. So, anyway, he actually became known as Stan the Man in 1946. During the June 23rd game against the Dodgers at Ebbets Field, a sports writer heard Dodger fans chanting whenever Musial came to bat, but could not understand the words. He later was known that every time Stan came up, he chanted, "Here comes the man." That man. No, the man. Here comes the man. Not that man. So he's known as Stan the Man. Musial would then be put as a first baseman, and the Cardinals tied the Dodgers for first place in the NL, needing a 3-game playoff. The Cardinals won that, and then won an epic 7-game series against the Red Sox, which saw, the Slaughter, the mad dash around the bases. Musial would have 4 RBIs in that thing, and would win the MVP again. He had troubles hitting in April of 1947, but team doctor said that Musial was suffering from tonsillitis and appendicitis. But fortunately for him, in a sense, he actually did not have his appendix or tonsils out until the season ended. Anyway, his ailments actually didn't hurt him in 1948. He led the major leagues in batting average, not just the National League, with a .376 mark. He actually won the batting title by 43 points. That's the largest gap since 1925. Musial became the first NL player to get 3 MVPs. Barry Bonds was not. He actually would have won the Triple Crown, which you lead a league in home runs, batting average, and RBIs. It was learned that a rainout washed out a home run by Musial because it didn't go 5 innings. That meant that Musial did not have a tie for first in home runs, which means there's a Triple Crown. Anyway, He approached the 1949 season trying to hit more home runs, but everything backfired. Musial decided to say, screw that, I'm going back to do my constant offensive production. And it worked. He led the NL in hits with 207. And when Musial started the 1950 season doing decently with a 30-game hitting streak. 1951, he was second in MVP voting for the third straight year. Ty Cobb actually gave Stan the Man his flowers, as they call it nowadays, in 1952, saying that him and Phil Pursuit are the only players who could be mentioned in the same breath with the all-time greats. Cobb said, I don't want to contradict him, but I don't think I was as good as Joe DiMaggio. Anyway. Musial used his influence to get Gussie Busch to buy the Cardinals team and make sure that it stayed in St. Louis. Because, St. Louis was about to lose the Browns to Baltimore, but they didn't want anything to happen. Thankfully, Bush used his company, Anheuser-Busch, you may have heard of them, the beer company, to make sure the Cardinals stayed in St. Louis. All that. Musial actually did a massive feat in May 1954, hitting 5 home runs in a doubleheader against the New York Giants. 3 homers in the first game, 2 in the second game. The only other guy in history to do so with 5 home runs in a doubleheader was Nate Colbert of the Padres. Musial did his job and all that. He actually came in as a pinch hitter in the 4th inning of the 1955 All-Star game and played left field. Leading off the bottom of the 12th, he hit the game-winning home run. There were rumors circulating in 1956 that the Cardinals were going to trade Sam Musial to Philly for Robin Roberts. But Gussie Busch, the owner, said, no way, you're not trading him and all that. Lane would trade Musial's close friend Reginald Shondice, to the New York Giants. Anyway, he had a consecutive game streak of 895, which is no small feat back in the 50s. He was Sportsman of the Year in 1957 and signed one of the first $100,000 contracts in 1958. He got a pinch hit single against the Cubs to win his 3,000th hit and all that. Becoming the 8th man to hit 3,000 hits. Anyway, Musial was actually 10 pounds overweight, but started getting better and all that. So, anyway, Musial did all that. Musial would accept a pay cut in 1960 because of his 1959 performance and all that. And he said that his mediocre performance was because of improper physical conditioning, nothing else. A lot of people thought Musial would retire. After all, he was getting close to 20 years with the team. At 41 in July 1962, he was the oldest player to hit 3 home runs in one game. Musial decided to retire at the end of the 1963 season, trying to do it on a winning note, like go to the World Series and all that. Unfortunately, the Dodgers ruined the chance of the Cardinals and clinched the NL pennant September 25th. 4 days later, September 29, 1963, was his last game, and there were a lot of people saying all that. The Cardinals said they would retire as number 6 just before the game started. Musial got a single in the 4th inning and then hit an RBI single in the 6th. Musial's career ended as Gary Kolb was made a pinch runner. So Musial was the all-time NL hits king until Pete Rose broke down in 1981. Ironically enough, Musial's last hit was actually out of the range of a Cincinnati second baseman, who would go on to break Cobb's record to be baseball's all-time hit king, and that would be Pete Rose. Musial had a lot of records and all that. He only hit 475 home runs. Some say if it wasn't for the military, he definitely would have had 500 home runs. That I don't dispute. And some say that he would have been close to Cobb's hits record of 4191. So anyway, only one player has more than Musial's 6,134 total bases. That's Hank Aaron. He was never ejected from the game. All that. He was named VP of the Cardinals in 1963. And then would be a fitness advisor for Lyndon B. Johnson. Musial was named the Cardinals general manager in 1967, and he shockingly got them to win the World Series against the Red Sox. He won the allegiance of Cardinals players by making fair offers from the outset of player negotiations and creating an in-stadium baby service, sitting service, so players' wives could attend games. So he married Lillian Labash, having 4 children, 1 son and 3 daughters. And Lillian died May 2012. That marriage was 72 years. That. He was even on the TV show Hee Haw in 1985. He loved doing harmonicas and all that. And he believed in racial equality. So, yeah. In his first year of eligibility in 1969, he was named to the Hall of Fame. 93% of people voted for him. And was named to the Major League Baseball All-Century team in 1999. He was actually the first inductee ever in the National Polish American Hall of Fame in 1973. He got a lot of things and all that. Musial was a legendary player and all that. So in 3,026 games, he had 475 home runs, 1,951 RBIs, and his career batting average was .331. Not too shabby. Musial would die of natural causes January 2013 at the age of 92. I mean, it was 92 years old and all that. Bob Costas gave the eulogy at his funeral. He had a massive legacy, and that the Cardinals made the 2013 World Series, despite losing to the Bo Sox. Stan the Man was smiling down from heaven, and the Cardinals will be smiling up at Stan the Man Musial. I'm Jeff Diamond, I do.